So I was looking at my phone this morning, just scrolling, usual doom scroll.
Yeah, right.
And I had this sudden kind of weird realization. I'm holding this device that has access to, well, basically the sum total of human knowledge.
It's incredible when you stop to think about it.
It really is. It can calculate pi to 1 billion digits. It can generate art. And then I remembered this fact about the Apollo 11 mission.
Oh, the computing power comparison. Yeah.
Exactly. The guidance computer that navigated human beings through space and literally landed them on the moon, it had something like 4 kilobytes of RAM.
It's just staggering.
It's less computing power than one of those singing greeting cards.
We went to the moon with a calculator, and now we carry supercomputers just to watch cat videos.
Right. But here's the paradox, and this is what I really want to get into today. Despite all that, we built the pyramids without the wheel, went to the moon with slide rules. There is this feeling right now that we're inadequate.
Inadequate in what sense?
Like, we're about to be replaced. I talk to people about AI, about automation, and there's this underlying anxiety that we're becoming obsolete, that we finally built the thing that makes us redundant. It's like we're the parents of a kid who just outscored us on the SATs, and now we don't know what our job is anymore.
That really is the central tension of the modern era, isn't it? We are the architects of the impossible, yet we feel increasingly small in the shadow of our own creations.
Exactly. So the mission for this deep dive is to figure out if that anxiety is justified. Are we actually obsolete? Or, and this is what the source material we're looking at suggests, are we just looking at the problem completely wrong?
I would argue we are looking at it wrong. The sources we're analyzing today, specifically this one text on the 4 functions of the mind, it makes a really compelling case that we haven't been surpassed at all. The whole thesis is that humans have this unique physical design and an inner capacity that distinguishes us from every other living thing, including the machines we build. The argument is basically, you're not obsolete, you're just underutilized.
Underutilized. I like that. It's a kinder way of saying I'm lazy. But okay, let's break this down.
Right.
The source starts in a place I really didn't expect. Not with psychology or coding, but with anatomy.
With the spine.
Specifically, the spine.
If you want to understand the human mind, you have to start with human verticality.
Verticality. Just standing up.
It sounds so simple, but it's a complete evolutionary anomaly. If you look at the rest of the animal kingdom, almost every other creature is horizontal.
Right.
Their spines run parallel to the ground. Dogs, horses, lizards, they're all basically suspension bridges.
So a dog is a bridge. Gravity is pulling its gut down, and it has to use 4 pillars, its legs, just to hold itself up.
Correct. And that takes a tremendous amount of structural energy just to maintain. But humans, we're vertical. Our spine is perpendicular to the ground.
So we don't fight gravity in the same way. We just stack our weight.
Which makes us incredibly energy efficient. And because we aren't using our limbs just for support, we have this amazing versatile range of movement. We can pivot, lie down, sit cross-legged.
And our arms are free.
Our arms are completely free. But the biggest trade-off, and this is where the biology gets really, really cool, is what verticality did to our heads.
The skull trade-off. I have to say, I read this part 3 times. I'd never thought about it like this before.
Well, think about that horizontal animal again. Let's take a bull or a ram.
Yeah.
When it's threatened, how does it interact with the world?
It lowers its head. It charges.
Right. The head is a weapon, a battering ram. Now, just from a physics standpoint, if your head is designed to smash into things, what does the skull need to be like?
It's got to be thick, heavy, like a helmet.
It has to be armor. And if your skull is thick armor, designed to absorb massive shocks, that really limits the internal volume.
Less room inside.
Way less room for soft tissue. Plus, the head is hanging off the end of that horizontal spine like a cantilevered beam. It needs these massive neck muscles just to hold it up.
Okay, I think I see where this is going. So because we stood up.
Because we stood up, our head now sits directly on top of that column. It's balanced like a golf ball on a tee.
So no need for huge neck muscles.
And more importantly, because we learned to use our hands for defense, for tools, we stopped using our face as a weapon.
We retired the head as a battering ram.
We did. And because the head was no longer a weapon, the evolutionary pressure for a thick, heavy skull it disappeared. Our skulls became comparatively thin, light, and that freed up all this volume.
For the brain.
We traded armor for processing power. We gave up the ability to win a headbutting contest with a goat in exchange for the ability to understand the cosmos.
That's genuinely wild. So our physical fragility, that thin skull, is actually the prerequisite for our intelligence.
Precisely. But having the big brain, the hardware, is only half the equation. And this is where the source material shifts from anatomy to what you might call the mechanics of consciousness.
Which brings us to the distinction between the brain and the mind. And I'll be honest, in casual conversation, I use those words interchangeably.
Everyone does.
Use your brain, use your mind. It's the same thing to me. But this text is very strict about separating them.
It is. And it uses this analogy that might sound a little, controversial to a modern neuroscientist, but just bear with it for its functional utility. It calls the brain the antenna.
The antenna. Okay, let me play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
Most neuroscientists would say the brain creates consciousness, not that it just receives it. Is the source getting all mystical on us?
It's less about mysticism and more about the user experience of being human.
Right.
Think of it like this. The brain is the hardware hub. It's getting all the signals, photons hitting your retina, sound waves hitting your eardrum. It processes that electrical data.
Okay.
But the brain itself isn't the thing that's watching the movie.
Right, okay. My laptop processes the video file, but my laptop isn't laughing at the comedy special. I am.
Exactly. The mind, in this context, is the user. It's the software, the entity that perceives the output of the brain. The source argues that while the brain is a biological organ, the mind is this inner engine that operates it. And this engine has 4 very specific gears.
The 4 functions of the mind.
Yes.
I want to spend some real time here, because it feels like the core of the argument against AI making us obsolete. The text lists them as see, remember, think, and know.
Such simple words, but they represent incredibly complex processes.
Let's walk through them, but instead of just defining them abstractly, can we use a real-world scenario? How about a doctor diagnosing a patient?
That's the perfect example. Okay, so step 1, see.
See, and this isn't just about vision, is it?
No, not at all. See, here means the intake of all sensory data. So the doctor walks into the room, she sees the patient's pale skin, she hears the wheezing in their breath, maybe she smells something specific, she touches a swollen gland.
So C is the aperture opening. It's the raw, unfiltered data stream coming into the system.
Exactly. C is the input.
Okay, so after input, what's next?
Step 2, remember.
Which seems obvious. The doctor remembers what she learned in medical school.
It's more than just facts, though. It's the whole categorization system. The mind takes that raw input, the pale skin, the wheezing, and immediately cross-references it with this vast internal library. She remembers similar cases she's seen. She remembered the textbook definitions of pneumonia versus bronchitis. Without remember, the input is just meaningless noise. Remember is what gives the input context.
Right, so we got input, which is C, and context, which is remember. Now for the heavy lifting. Step 3, think.
Think. This is the processing phase. And it's really crucial to distinguish this from the next step. Thinking is the churn. It's the internal debate. The doctor's looking at the symptoms, comparing them to her memory, and simulating possibilities. Could it be bacterial, but the fever's low? Could it be viral, but it's been going on too long?
It's the little spinning wheel on the computer screen.
It absolutely is. It's analysis, synthesis, weighing variables. It's an active and often very noisy process.
And I think for most of us, that's where we stop. We assume thinking is the pinnacle of intelligence. But the source says there's a 4th function. Know.
No.
How is knowing any different from thinking?
Well, thinking is the movement. Knowing is the stillness. Thinking is the question. Knowing is the answer. In our doctor example, thinking is all that deliberation. Knowing is the moment where the pieces just click into place. She stops debating. She puts down the chart. She looks at the patient and says, this is a pulmonary embolism. We need to act now.
It's that aha moment, the flash of insight.
Yes. It's the resolution of the process. It's the output. And the source emphasizes that these 4 functions, you remember, know, they operate in this continuous high-speed loop. That synergy is what allowed us to build civilizations. We see a river, we remember the flood from last year, we think about how to divert the water, and then we know how to build the dam.
Okay, so that is the human operating system. Now, let's bring in the elephant in the room.
The challenger.
Artificial intelligence. The reason everyone is freaking out, because if I look at those 4 functions, honestly, it sounds a lot like what ChatGPT is doing.
It does.
I type in a prompt. It sees my text. It accesses its massive database, so it remembers. It processes patterns, so it thinks, and it spits out an answer. It knows.
And that similarity is exactly why the anxiety exists. We look at the machine and we see a mirror.
But you're going to tell me it's a funhouse mirror.
It is a mimic, a very, very fast and convincing mimic. Let's look at thinking again. When an AI thinks, what is it actually doing?
It's predicting the next word in a sequence based on probability.
Right. It's just math. It's calculated statistical likelihoods based on all its training data. It can do that unbelievably fast, way faster than any human. But does it know?
Well, gives me the answer.
It gives you an output.
Okay.
But does it have the felt sense of the answer? Does the AI worry about the patient? Does it feel the weight of that diagnosis? Does it have any ethical hesitation if the data looks a little weird?
No, of course not. It just runs the code.
Exactly. It lacks the quality of consciousness.
Yeah.
The source argues that the human edge isn't in the speed of the processing. I mean, we lost that race a long time ago. The calculator beat us at math in the 1970s.
Right.
The human edge is in the quality of the knower.
The quality of the knower. Unpack that for us.
It comes back to that idea of the inner watcher. An AI has no watcher. It has no conscience. It cannot distinguish between a lie and the truth, only between a probable sequence of words and an improbable one. The human mind, though, can be clear. It can be still. It can be centered.
The source mentions stillness as a prerequisite for true knowing.
Yes. Think about when you make your best decisions. Is it when your mind is racing, frantic, full of noise and anxiety?
Never. It's usually when I step away, take a shower, go for a walk, when things finally settle down.
Exactly. That stillness allows for wisdom. And wisdom is not just data processing. Wisdom is the ethical and contextual application of knowledge. AI has infinite data, but it has zero wisdom.
So if we try to compete with AI on thinking, on just churning through data, we lose.
We lose every single time. It's like trying to outrun a Ferrari on foot.
But if we compete on knowing, on wisdom, on clarity, on that felt sense of what is right, the AI isn't even in the race.
It's not even on the track. It's a tool that we use, not a rival we fight.
That brings us to the closing analogy in the text, which I thought was just perfect. You mentioned the Ferrari.
The Ferrari and the bicycle.
Walk us through it.
The analogy is that being human with this vertical spine, this big brain, these four incredible functions, it's like we're sitting in the driver's seat of a Ferrari. We have this massive engine of potential right here.
Okay.
But we're looking out the window and we're terrified of a guy in a bicycle.
The bicycle is the AI.
The bicycle is the AI. It's mechanical, it's efficient for what it is, but it's not a Ferrari.
So why are we so scared of it?
Because we never learned how to drive the car. We're sitting in this high-performance machine, but we're just revving the engine in neutral or maybe crashing into guardrails. We don't actually know how to use our own minds. We let our seeing get clogged with distraction. We let our thinking get anxious and repetitive. We almost never reach that state of clear knowing.
Man, that hits home. We're worried about being obsolete because we're comparing our worst habits to machine's best features.
Bingo. We feel underutilized because we haven't mastered our own operating system.
So the solution to the quote-unquote AI threat isn't to get a brain chip. It's not to merge with the machine.
No, the solution is to learn to drive, to cultivate that clarity, to sharpen your ability to see, to curate what you remember, to discipline your thinking so that you can actually know.
It's an internal upgrade, not an external one.
It is. And frankly, it's the only upgrade that really matters. Because if you can drive the Ferrari, the bicycle is just traffic. It's not a threat.
That is a genuinely hopeful place to land. It puts the responsibility back on us, but in a good way. It gives us the agency back. We aren't just passive victims of technology.
We never were. We built the technology. We just need to remember who's supposed to be in the driver's seat.
So for the listener who's maybe stuck in traffic right now or folding laundry, wondering if ChatGPT is going to take their job, what's the one thing they should take away from this?
I would say this. Pay attention to your own mind today. Just observe it. Watch how you take in information. Watch how you react to it. And try to find that little gap between the noise of thinking and the stillness of knowing. The gap, that's where your humanity lives. That's the part the machine can't ever touch.
I love that. That's where your humanity lives. We're going to wrap it up there. A huge thank you to the Dhamma and Data source material. It really does flip the script on that whole humans are weak narrative.
It definitely forces you to sit up a little straighter.
Literally and figuratively. Thanks for diving in with us. Remember, you've got the Ferrari. Maybe it's time to take it out of first gear. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.